honored is what it feels like to be Austin's mom. Austin has such a kind, helpful, and loving heart. And I was honored to watch him grow. I loved spending time with him, even if it meant tacking on a few extra hours to the day, because he's decided to perform community service randomly. I'd just sit there and watch him and encourage him. Like one time at our church picnic, we had every year in the spring. But the last time we were there, Austin decided it was his job to unload everybody's vehicles for them. So as soon as somebody new would pull up and park, he'd be running and trying to open their doors and their trunks and unload everything for them. We had to try and teach him to calm down a little bit and wait for people to shut off their cars first. That's how eager he was to help. And to maybe like knock on their door and announce himself before he's just trying to break into their cars. And then later it's like I was trying to look for him, calling in all the areas. Where is he hiding? Because it's like there's different areas of our picnic. Like there's a field and there's kind of a foresty area and a barbecue area. And anyway, one of the guys who was barbecuing said, oh yeah, he's off managing the firewood hunt. And Austin was always in the middle of managing and helping people. Like at the golf course, he'd always help the girls cleaning the balls in the shed. And on some days he was lucky enough to be there when they'd be taking the cart out to go collect the balls from off the driving range. And they'd invite him to go sit in that little caged up golf cart with them. So he'd get to ride around and pick up all the golf balls. I've never seen any other kid be invited to do that. But that's Austin and his little charm. Austin was the best little boy. And it didn't matter if I had to sit there for an extra couple hours and wait for him. Because I didn't consider that ruining my day. Because I was honored to just spend time with him. And to watch him having fun. My little Austin. Because I was always told how stupid I was and how I'm ruining her day. And how I'm just harassing people and I need to leave them alone. Nobody wants me around. Oh, I taught Austin the exact opposite. That people loved having him around and enjoyed his help and appreciated his help. Like when we'd be at a hotel and he'd start helping somebody with their luggage through the door, and as soon as he'd finish helping them, somebody else would show up, and so then he'd start helping that person. And then it ended up going on, and before you know, I've been sitting there for a couple hours just watching him helping people. Like he owns the place. But it was just so amazing to just watch him. He's just always trying to be helpful. Even before he could speak, when we go to the mall, the little play center, Austin would run down the mall ahead of me and go stick his wrist up at the service counter to get his little armband put on. He didn't care if he was cutting in front of line. And all the women knew who he was, so they just stick his little wristband on him, didn't charge him his dollar or anything, just stuck his wristband on him and let him go. And he'd go take his shoes off and climb in there and start managing the place. He couldn't even speak yet. And he'd think he was allowed in the little staff box. He'd be organizing it, putting things away, cleaning things up, or helping people. Like this one time when a little kid fell down and was crying, and before the parent could even get to him, Austin had run to the staff box, got the Kleenex box out of there, because of course he knew exactly where it was, and ran back to the kid and the parent to give them the Kleenex. It's like he was taking care of people even before he could speak. Or like when I'd have my horrible nightmares, my night terrors, and wake up screaming in the middle of the night. Because I'd be screaming about being beaten and having nightmares about Alice Sellers, the Wicked Witch of West Vancouver. And Austin would put his little arms around me, cuddle me, wipe my hair off my forehead and kiss my cheek. Say, "Don't worry, Mommy, the bad people aren't here. You can go back to sleep." Like he just thought he's taking care of me, and of course he was. He takes care of everybody. And now nobody's taking care of him. He's living with a soul rapist. That's what it's like living there. It's like having your soul raped every day. Nobody cares who you're meant to be. All they care about is how you're supposed to shut up and conform and be compliant. And now my little child, who loves everybody and loves all his family and friends, isn't allowed to see or speak to any of his family and friends because he's being held hostage. And now all those times of being honored to watch him grow and how he loves and helps people, they're all gone. My child is just being destroyed. I miss being able to hug and kiss my little baby. I miss my little